Ask yourself, how many masajid do we drive past every single week and we don't step inside? And how many Muslims do we greet and we tell them, assalamu alaikum, but we never really connect with these individuals? We talk about building an ummah. We talk about developing some type of unity in our communities. But let's be honest. Most of us barely even know the Muslims that, even live on our block, that live or move around within our neighborhoods. Being Muslim and accepting Islam isn't the same, or maybe I won't say it's not the same, but it doesn't necessitate actually having our hearts tied together as believers. And until we realize this fact, or until we realize that this is the only way we're going to be able to grow, then this word community will just be that. It'll just be a nice word. And it won't really have a meaning. Now you ask yourself, or you ask me, Abdul-Lateef, why does this matter? Why are you always talking about this same issue? And honestly, because I speak with so many of you. And, whether it be through, regular telephone calls, WhatsApp messages, Telegram, Discord, whatever it might be, the Patreon, I see that we live in a time where loneliness is at an all-time high. And this is even inside of Muslim communities, regardless of how big our communities seem to be. Think about it. You can pray shoulder to shoulder with an individual in the masjid for months and months and months. And brothers, you know what I'm talking about. And still not know the individuals that you're praying with. And when I say know them, I don't even mean just know their name. Okay, that's Muhammad, that's Yusuf, that's Ahmed. No. You don't know their story. You don't know what their struggles are. You have no idea what's going on in their lives or their households. This is a problem. And this is because Islam was never meant to be something that, how can I put it, we practice by ourselves. Something that's done in isolation. Listen, it's a me thing, and everybody around me, they're going to do their thing, I'm going to do me. This is not what Islam was about. When you look back, we see that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he didn't build a bunch of individuals. What he built was a brotherhood and a sisterhood. He taught that the believers are like a single body, a single vessel. And if one part of it hurts, then the rest of it should hurt. And you all are familiar with the hadith, so there's no use in going back and forth about this. But you have to understand that this only works once the people's hearts are connected to one another. And right now, too many of us are just, how can I put it, existing next to one another and not with one another, if you understand what I mean. And you can pretend as though you don't see what I'm talking about, as though it's a reality. You can keep going with your blinders on if you want. But there's a bigger problem behind all of this. Right? And it's, not necessarily that we do this because of the fact that we don't care. There's something bigger. Sometimes that thing is trauma. Sometimes that thing is individuals that we deal with, or I'll say that we have towards individuals that we deal with. Trust issues. And sometimes, to be honest with you, some of us, we just feel exhausted from time to time. Maybe it's that you've been hurt by people that you thought were your people. Or you tried to get involved in a group of brothers and sisters or a community. And once you got in there, you got yourself tied in, wrapped in, you realize that it felt more like a clique than a support system. Or maybe you were afraid to open up to individuals because of the fact that you were afraid that no one was going to understand. So, like I said, it's bigger than just, okay, we don't want to be involved in a community. So because all of this, we stay guarded. We show up, but we only do it halfway, with half of our heart. We love Islam, and that's nothing that we should doubt about one another. Because Islam is what we're showing up for every day. So we love Islam, but a lot of times we have a hard time, or we struggle when it comes to loving one another. And what's the result? It's exactly what you see. Marriages fall apart in silence. And the youth, subhanallah, look at what we find with the youth. They drift off and they have no anchor, nothing to hold them firm. The brothers, they isolate. The sisters, they feel invisible. And the ummah weakens from the inside out. Now, as you know, as usual, I don't want to just give you an idea of what the problem is. So I'm going to give you a solution as well. Take the first step today. You don't need what we call in the Arab community a mansib. You don't need a position, you don't need a title to restart building, or maybe I should say, instead of restart, to start rebuilding our community. You don't need to be a scholar. You don't need to be a huge Muslim leader. You just need to recognize that the foundation for any real community isn't money, programs, or numbers. It's actually love from our hearts, love to one another, that's tied by Iman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tells us in the Quran, in Surah Al-Anfal, He says, and He brought their hearts together. And if you had spent all that is in the earth, you could not have united their hearts. But Allah Ta'ala, He did it. He united them. Start with an intentional connection. Look around within your circle. If there's someone that you've been ignoring, someone that you could check on, and you all that know me personally know this is one of the things that I always push for, checking on one another. Or someone that you could invite for tea after Jumu'ah. Or all of you know, my thing is coffee. But either way, stop waiting for the perfect masjid or the perfect program. You be the one that breaks the ice. The one who listens without judging other individuals. And the one who makes space for someone else's story. Because that's where real unity begins. Not in big speeches, but in small, sincere efforts. Now, something I want to know. I've given up enough information right now. How many Muslims do you know, but you really don't know them? So I'm asking you, what's keeping you from getting closer to your community? And what's one small step that you'd be willing to take to help unite the hearts again? Starting this week. As a matter of fact, starting today. I want to hear your honest thoughts. So write them in the comment section. And don't be shy. Your comment could actually be that thing that unlocks everything for another individual and give someone else the courage to speak up as well, and give someone else the courage to actually move out. So make sure you leave your comments in the comment section below. Now, here's a little special call out to you. If you're tired of those surface level connections that I'm talking to you about today, and you want to grow as a Muslim, you want to rebuild your family, and you want to be a part of something bigger, then join us in the Next Level Muslim community on Patreon. Now, understand, coming into that, this isn't something that is for, passive followers, people that are just about scrolling. But it's for those who are ready really to put in the work. For those who are ready to heal and to lead and to build a community, as we said before, from the inside out. So remember, when you're ready, I'll be there, but only if you're serious.